Greetings and salutations, all you hardcore MMA fans out there. Welcome to another episode of MMA Technical Analyst Breakdown, aka the MMA Recap. As always, I'm your host, DanTheWolfman. And guys, I've been doing martial arts, all kinds, since 1986 and been heavily involved in the MMA game in different capacities since 1995. So basically what I'm saying is I'm kind of the Kwazak Haderach and I'm older than Yoda, so you might want to pay attention. This week I'll be covering the UFC Boise, Idaho event, Dos Santos versus Ivanov. And I'll get through all 13 fights there. If there's time, guys, I'll get to the 4-fight main card of Bellator, Julia Budd versus Talita Nogueira. We'll see how time goes, guys. But first off, I decided I'm going to get on Twitter. I tweeted Chael Sonnen the other night offering my services to be a Fedor size. I'm a weird Fedor size, guys. Not many guys are Fedor sized and fast. To be a sparring partner / catch wrestling coach, etc. I think he's serious. Maybe I'll go train with my old buddy Chael if he decides to have me out. We'll see. And then I see that John Jones tweets about Submission Underground, Chael's event, and to Flow Grappling. When someone asks him, "Hey, John, how about you do another grappling event?" And he goes, "Who wants to get tapped out next?" Well, John Jones, guys, I called him out big time. I made like all kinds of tweets. Interesting stuff, considering he's ducking me. He's ducking the Wolfman. He's scared to lose from this old guy going to come down from the mountains and spank his ass worse than Randy spanked Tito. Go check out the Twitter. Go to his Twitter feed. See them talking about Flow Grappling, Submission Underground event, and just check it out. And I'm surprised that John hasn't replied to me. Of course, John in the past at a press conference has said that I'm knowledgeable, I know what I'm talking about, and I'm credible. So, John is a little bit aware of who I am, and, I'll teach him some Catch-Jitsu style, guys. So, get on Twitter, be like, yo, we want to see this. Either way, whether you love me or hate me. And why is John Jones ducking the Wolfman? Wolfman hungry. Wolfman wants to eat some chicken legs. So, guys, let's get to UFC. Dos Santos versus Ivanov, starting with Jody Esquibel, the first responder and SWAT officer out of Jack Wink in New Mexico, versus longtime standout Jessica Aguilar out of ATT. Round 1, boxing and clinch jockeying. A lot of cage control goes to Aguilar. Round 2, shift boxing blitzes, but from way too far outside by Esquibel. And Aguilar stares a lot. Just watches a lot, but does land some counter knees. So basically, Esquibel, I like, and I like what she does in her private life, but, she's kind of a graduation from the Leonard Garcia Air Punching Academy without all the cool kias that some of her teammates do. So maybe you need a kia. Round 2, Esquibel does go her way, even though she ate some counter knees, in my opinion. Round 3, basically a tie with a good last minute of the fight. Other than that, a lot of air punching both ways, a lot of not caring by Aguilar. Esquibel tried more. She seemed to care more. I would have given her a nod, but unanimous decision for Aguilar, whom honestly just lacked passion. Has she been lacking passion lately? Like, she's been in the sport a long time. She hasn't stopped kind of evolving. She's just doing it for a paycheck now. I don't know. I don't mean to be mean, but you got to care. If you don't care to win your fight, why should the judges care? Why should I care? The judges cared because the judges sucked, and we'll get to that over and over and over again. I guess that's what you expect when you go to UFC in Boise, Idaho. But the guys are eating potatoes and watching Walking Dead instead of watching the fights. I don't know what's going on. We'll get more to that. Next up, Elias Garcia, the cousin of the Pettis brothers, took on Mark De La Rosa. De La Rosa's wife won in the UFC last week by rear naked choke, so that's pretty interesting. Right away, Mark tried a treetop single, lifting the leg up, standing. So a treetop is when you're on single and you hike it up, and then you hike it up trying to dump the guy in his back. He hops that over the shoulder to what I call diamond position, pre-triangle position. And standing, kind of locks in the triangle, Carlos Newton versus Matt Hughes style. He decides to helicopter spin him around and spins him out of there, which is really interesting, and basically like what I showed in my John Wick Street Jiu-Jitsu video, because my idea is you would spin a guy in a street fight into the oncoming subway train, not the front because that'd be too obvious, but his head would hit the side and then decapitate him sideways like a Pez dispenser. Did it again later on the ground, same position, pre-triangle diamond. Picks him up, spins him around, flies him off. Now the cooler thing to do would be to throw him into the cage. But that was basically like the helicopter or giant swing I did to Pancrase fighter Kei Yamamiya in my second pro wrestling match in Japan a couple years ago. Round 2, De La Rosa punch blitz to the cage and then slides by in the clinch to the back position. They eventually go to the ground and gets a rear naked choke. I think this is one when he had a single hook and was going for it and then got the second hook and got the rear naked choke, if that's the fight I'm thinking of. I like staying in the single hook position. You don't need it. You can lock down that hip fine. You don't need to put in that second hook to get the rear naked choke. That'll contrary to what Jimmy Smith was talking about. It can help, but if you put the arch power of your hips and lock that hip tight to the groin area, you're golden with the triangle in on the single leg. Alright, then we got Liz Carmouche versus Jennifer Maia, and of course you hardcore fans know Liz Carmouche fought in the first ever women's UFC fight versus Ronda Rousey. Alright, Liz very early with a body lock takedown, right directly to side control, but it was Maia late in the round getting her striking rhythm on the feet. Round 2, 4 minutes mostly was Maia striking and cage control. But in the last minute, Liz gets the same body lock, outside leg trip, straight to side mount. So second time, boom, straight into side mount, past the guard, mounts at the end of it, and goes for what I call Japanese style armbar with kind of the foot turned this way to the throat. Not as high percentage, but was getting there, and time runs out. Good for going for it. Round 3, just like I always said, go for submission last 30 seconds of the round, just like GSP did in his early days. John Fitch going for an ankle lock at the end of the round days. Round 3, Liz didn't let a popping out pectoral distract her too much. Boom! Took advantage and got the takedown. Hey, you gotta win, I guess. And she wasn't surprised, so I'm not sure exactly what that says, but she did her job. Gets a takedown off the distraction and then just mauls her on the ground, gorilla style. Got a little bit of a glare from the sun going down, guys. I'm in the south right now, so beautiful sunset, so hopefully you can deal with a little bit of glare today. I'm just going to leave it, otherwise I'm going to drop the... Okay, unanimous decision for Liz. Next up, Kurt Holdbow versus Radney Barcelos. This is at featherweight. The Liz fight was at flyweight, by the way. So this fight, Kurt versus Rodney, is at featherweight. First round, good technical scrapping by both guys. I liked it in the pocket. Pretty technical, fair technical scrapping is what I would call that. Kind of like a Dutch kickboxing type K1 style affair. Round 2, Barcelos nails the Akiyama Osotogari sliding outside leg trip, just like my fairly recent video on it. Where I show how to grab the throat off of someone's actually incoming jab. That got about 1,000 views on YouTube, so you can check out the Akiyama Osotogari. Look that up. Akiyama did nail that with me. I got a lot of footage sparring Akiyama, but when he nailed it with me, that part was corrupted, unfortunately. I would have kept it. I show both good things and that the guys I'm sparring do, and good things that I do as well. Anyway, awesome. I love seeing that. It was beautiful timing on that Akiyama Osoto. Wish, commentators would know a little bit of judo. Then, guys, at the end of the round, almost gets the Frank Shamrock versus Jeremy Horn knee bar off the takedown. If you're not familiar with that, get on the Fight Pass. Almost gets that at the end off the takedown, reaches between his legs and goes for the knee, but he triangled. You can still do a sideways knee crank from there, Manoa Man style. Video on that, of course, just like everything. Let's see, round 2 goes to Barcelos, in my opinion. Round 3, Barcelos lands a 4-3, I usually don't like. A rear hook, a left hook. And then 2 big 6 right uppercuts for the KO finish. So awesome KO by Brazilian Barcelos. Next up at flyweight, Said Nurmagomedov. Yet another cousin, Khabib. We saw one lose last week on my PFL breakdown vid you can check out. Versus Justin Scoggins, who is also in South Carolina, where I currently am. Round 1 was Scoggins by Wonder Boy-esque outside kicking and distracting hands kind of stuff, which I've been having videos on forever. Then Cheetah started knocking people out by distracting them with their hands like magic and then kicking them in the face. And landing a big punch when Said tried to do some spinning shit. Round 2, Scoggins, more PK style karate, distracting hands, couple question mark kicks come up high, and runs him into a stunning reverse punch because he was kind of chasing him and planted and boom, reverse punch cross. Got him really good. Round 3, Said gets a double leg, good ground and pound and guard, but ref very quick stand up. I think it was less than 2 minutes, exactly a 3-minute mark left in the round. He stood him up. And then Scoggins runs and buzzes around the octagon like a true flyweight, which cost him the fight because 29-28 split for Said, which I think everyone will agree with was wrong. It should have been the other way around, 29-28 for Scoggins. I don't know how he could give Said anything but the 3rd round. So, yeah. Whew, okay, Darren Elkins versus Alexander Volkanovski. Let me get some water, guys, here. Make sure you check out that Twitter feed of John Jones. Johnny boy. Jonathan, why are you not answering me, brother? You scared this old guy, this old Catch-Jitsu master, gonna come down from the mountain and tap your ass out with something weird and embarrass you? I don't know. I don't know, man. Submission Underground. Chael Sonnen, let's do it. Full grappling, put it on. Okay, Darren Elkins versus Alexander Volkanovski. Former rugby player Volkanovski dropped Elkins twice with overhand rights, winning the round 10-8. This was by the new rules, and this is how I scored the round. Round 2, Volkanovski, all Volkanovski, other than a lot of left body kicks, are constantly landed by Elkins, who's throwing like punch left kick. And the left kick to the body is always landing. I don't know what's up with that with Volkanovski. He decides to just eat it. But if one was harder and directly down the liver, that could be bad. At the very end of the round, Elkins literally trips on the fence from forward pressure. And I rewind it. I'm like, did I see what I thought I saw? And his head hit the ground. Like, literally his head hit the ground. So he's already beat up and bloodied and dizzy. And that certainly didn't help him recover between rounds. Round 3, Volkanovski and old school tough Elkins. Elkins is tough, SOB. They throw down the whole last minute. And yet the scorecards were 29-28 Volkanovski, not 30-26. 29-28 instead of the 30-26 that it so obviously was, with the first round being a 10-8 round. Dude, I don't know what they're smoking out there, but someone needs to fire everybody on that commission. Okay. Then, guys, we got former title contender 2 or 3 times. So twice for Saldo and once for Connor. Eddie Wineland versus Alejandro Perez. This is at bantamweight. Round 1, both guys nailed it with some big punches. Round 2, more fisticuffs. Round 3, more moving forward with low hands at the side like a robot by Eddie Wineland. I still don't know why he does all that. I mean, you can do that, but your elbow should be in more. Round 3, jumped ahead. Lots of missing by both guys. I just didn't like the fight. Maybe the judges didn't either because they didn't watch it. 29-28, unanimous decision for Alejandro Perez. I think it should have been 29-28 versus Wineland. I wonder what everyone else thinks out there, like media-wise. But then again, I tuned out, so who knows. Okay. Ken Sagano versus Marion Renew. My French stinks. Marion Renew. I could say it earlier, can't say that. This is at bantamweight. Southpaw, Cat Zagano, of course. Close round. Beautiful lateral drop at the end by Cat. That's worth watching. Round 2, the powerful alpha Cat gets way more takedowns. Round 3, had inside single, 2 inside the guard, clock killing, baby ground and pound all around, which I don't love to see. But unanimous decision by Cat Zagano. She's so muscular, dude. She's so strong. Good job, Cat. Okay. I did interview her years ago. Kind of a strange interview. She was rehabbing a knee and enjoying herself at the Metamoris. Okay, Chad Mendes versus Myles Jury on painkillers. You know what I should say. Chad Mendes versus Myles Jury. Now, guys, I got a little Myles Jury story for you here. I literally first noticed Myles Jury at Mash Fight Team Training at Warrior Way Jiu-Jitsu in Michigan. When all those big tough guys were there, like James Lee and myself and Brandon and these KOTC champions, Garcia and I can't think of everybody else. Hello Japan might have been there. I don't think he was there that night, but sometimes he was there. Mr. Hello Japan himself. Anyway, guys, most of you won't get that reference. Anyway, Myles Jury, this little skinny 17-year-old kid's in there. I'm like, can I help you? And I'm like, what is this kid doing here? Like, I noticed him, and then he's like sticking around, and like, I'm like, man, this kid's gonna be something someday. So anyway, Myles Jury, if you ever see this, congrats on getting to the UFC. Okay, so Mendes, basically the whole fight was Mendes fake right power shift left hook, power shift 3, power 3. I've had videos, multiple videos since 2012. That is definitely before Dwayne Ludwig moved to Alpha Male and all the Alpha Male guys started getting knockouts and rocking guys with that very step out power hook or shift power hook, whatever you want to call it. And then boom, just follows up with some constant pressure ground and pound. Good win, TKO win, much needed for Chad Mendes after a whopping over 2.5 year layoff, which was pretty bad. I think that was for like peptide, GS9 peptide or something like that. I'd have to go back. Okay, Randy Brown versus Nico Price at welterweight. The very tall and lanky, rangy Brown lands more strikes, and Price gets one double leg in round 1. Round 2, Brown gets on top after threatening. He's got a kind of a guillotine, and he goes to put in a power front naked choke. Ninja choke would be that way. Different. And that makes him flop to his back. And then Brown get on top. Nico Price kind of spins underneath looking for a knee bar, leg lock position. And Brown keeps heavy on his knee, the proper thing to do to defend that roll, to not let him get his hips all the way underneath you. Stays heavy on the knee, but caught in kind of a weird two-leg over position. And Price knocks him out with 6 hammer fists. Like the first or second hammer fist literally knocks him out from bottom. Unbelievable. Crazy knockout. I'm sure you've seen GIFs all over the place. I don't know. Someone's eating acai maybe. That's some powerful hammer fists we saw in this UFC. A lot of... acai and pineapple after weigh-ins, maybe? I've heard pineapple's good. I guess maybe acai right after weigh-ins is good, too. Just a guess, just a thought, just something to throw out there, see if it sticks on the wall. I don't know what fruit everyone likes. Dennis Bermudez versus Rick Glenn. Featherweight, much taller southpaw bobblehead Glenn, because he bobs up and down when he fights all the time. He wins round 1, making good use of straight lefts and a lot of like left shoulder level high kicks, because he ducks down low, short, and he ducks down, so kind of like really rib kicks, but always keeping him in check with that left kind of highish kick. Round 2, 3 takedowns by Bermudez had me worried Glenn was done for, but it turns out Glenn was merely hiding under a garage dumpster, you silly people. So it goes to round 3. Round 3, Bermudez came out really aggressive, pushing the pace for takedowns first couple minutes, and gets a double leg in the guard. Looks for an Iowa ride off a bad omoplata attempt, and ends up back in top guard. Glenn's always been using his feet to get back up and creating distance with his legs. Very good job. Gets back to his feet yet again. Bermuda shoots a double. Glenn uses his elevators or butterfly hooks to spin over and get on top to the front headlock briefly. Scramble ensues. Gets a double wrist lock. Glenn flips him backs over. You know, like Rick Glenn's carrying a Colt Python and managed to make a cool scramble, which apparently the judges like, because Rick Glenn, by split decision, because the judges were watching Walking Dead apparently instead of the fights, with one judge giving it a 30-27, therefore round 2 to Glenn. Round 2, Bermuda's got 3 takedowns and was landing ground and pound and forward pressure and doing everything right. So it could have been 29-28 either way, maybe damage-wise, and if that's really what they were watching, maybe it goes to Glenn, but I'm kind of surprised it didn't go to Bermudez. Anyway, just crappy judges. Rick Glenn, pretty exciting guy. I'd like to see where he goes. Okay, Super Sage Northcutt versus Zach Otto. Otto with overhand right off the bat. Boom! Drops Super Sage. Not looking so super. Then after that, he's staying on top. Really good top positioning. He goes into the Kisi, a.k.a. calls it the Kisi or hip lock position. And then boom, almost dope bounce. Really slick jiu-jitsu stuff. If you don't know what a Kisi, you don't know what a dope mount is, pay attention to these little clips. I wish, guys, someday when I get, you know, a major channel to back me and I can throw all the clips up on for you and break down with a pen, I'm sure it'd be really more exciting. But hopefully this helps some of you guys out. Otto is all over Sage on the ground. He mounts for a couple seconds, but Sage gets back up 1 minute to go. Threatens with a guillotine, and yes, alpha male style, stays with that guillotine, rolls on top, keeps pressure, like in my Barnett Teps to Rothwell's Gogoplata video. Keep that top pressure, turning the hips in. Ends up on top. Good job by Sage there at the end. Round 2, single leg off the low side kick, actually gets Otto on top briefly. But Sage gets back up and then goes Super Saiyan. Punch blitz against the cage. Knock-in and pressure makes Otto go down the turtle. Otto's got 2-on-1 wrist control hiding by his head. Sage innovates, throws a left knee, I think, to the body, kind of GSP style, but it wasn't that solid. And then he thinks. And then he uses his left foot to peel the hands off his 2-on-1, which is like a good thing in a knife fighting self-defense scenario, actually. And then throws a beatdown. He's got a head inside single. Throws a beatdown hammer fist style, just like a la Frank Shamrock beating down Tito Ortiz, one of the best fights ever. You need to check that one out. And that actually happened on the Bellator card as well. So I had already referenced that, taking notes on the Bellator card. So great job by Sage, and post-speech was very Miss USA approved. And Sage even looked both ways when he crossed the street going to the arena, so his parents gave him 3 separate gold stars. And I menstelia'd that last one from Adam Hunter. I happened to see it on Twitter. So Adam, I don't think you're going to use that in a routine. That one was from comedian Adam Hunter. But yeah, there's something about Sage. I like it. I like his karate. I'm glad he's working with Raymond Daniels. I'm not sure if I care for Miss USA speeches unless they seem a little more genuine. Okay, and in the main event, Junior Dos Santos versus WSOF and World Sambo Champion, who once beat Fedor Emelianenko, Romanian Blagoy Ivanov. Ivanov, who survived being in a coma forever after getting stabbed in the heart. So you know the guy's tough, which should be kept in consideration with how we judge this fight. Ivanov is a southpaw, keep that in mind. Round 1, JDS pressures Ivanov constantly about the cage. It was very bad by Ivanov. But he does get hit with a couple kind of over-corker right hooks from the southpaw. Round 2, JDS landing more straight punches to the body, jabs, and crosses all night long. Strange one, too. I rewound it. I'm like, man, that sounded funny. He hit with his bottom of the fist, and then I watched it, and he did. He hit him with the bottom, cut down this way. And then I noticed that JDS must always throw that right. I've never liked doing that, but like anchor punch style, bam. In really short distance, sometimes if a guy's pressuring hard, it can be effective. So basically he always throws an anchor punch style, but that kind of was hurting his hand, especially because that's going down, and Ivanov's big old Romanian head was coming down, and I think that actually hurt JDS's hand a few times. Mobility wise, this looks like a M1 Abrams tank versus an old plodding T-72. Okay, round 3, JDS lands across the eye. Boom, that messes Ivanov up a bit. And Ivanov responds with a couple hard hooks. Huge overhand left, rocks JDS a bit. And then Ivanov even sees the cross coming and tries to duck under and headbutt the incoming cross. So old bare knuckle boxing, Filipino boxing type stuff, I think. You know, maybe Romanians know how to throw down a street fight and break someone's hand right away. I'm gonna guess that the guy's been in a few street fights in his life. So round 3, I actually gave to Ivanov, and I think Ivanov deserved that. He did more of the big damage in that round. Round 4, even though JDS looked awesome in the third round, great cardio, was shucking and jiving and actually looking better in the third round, like looking really good. Round 4 JDS by not a major. Round 5 JDS shucks and jives. Old boxing term, guys. Shucks and jives, keep away with jab, but does land one huge overhand. Means you can dance. When I was screaming for a regular shin round kick to the body with 1 minute left, JDS actually throws an axe kick, almost gets it caught on the shoulder Ivanov, which happened to me in a Taekwondo tournament when I was like 14, and almost gets knocked out because of it. I mean, he's lucky. That could have went really bad for him after obviously winning the whole fight. Unanimous decision, 50-45 for JDS, though I had it at 49-46. You know, other people have been around. I wonder if they found, 4 or 5 fights that the judges just were smoking crack rock. I don't know. Am I not allowed to say that? I don't know. Anyway, I don't really care. Okay, so guys, quickly I'll go to Bellator 4 main fights on the Julia Budd versus Tulita Nogueira card. Valentine Moldavsky versus Ernesto James at heavyweight. 7-1 Moldavsky looked way better, obviously, than 1-0 James. James very slow, inexperienced. And then Moldavsky beat him Frank versus Tito style at the end of round 1 again. Round 2, he lands a jab, then a strong cross, then turns the corner Lomachenko style and 3 big punches from the side behind angle for the TKO. Moldavsky, strong, mobile, heavyweight. He could have pressured more in the first round, but he kept it kind of safe, and he got the finish in the second round by TKO. That shift to the side was very nice. You know, with a name like Moldanovsky, does he probably watch some Lomachenko? I'm going to go with probably. That was really cool. Okay, Chris Honeycutt at middleweight versus Leo Lete. Honeycutt's a 2-time All-American wrestler. Lete is a BJJ world champion and 2-time Olympic judoka under Mario Bustamante, which is the same as my black belt, not directly, but my lineage under Mario Bustamante as well. The Pride and UFC champ and Pride veteran. Honeycutt was busy with his hands, but made the big mistake using a right body kick in MMA. That's almost never good unless you're fighting a southpaw that's not a wrestler. Phil Davis versus giving away the fight to Rashad Evans is the biggest example of that. Don't use right body kicks in MMA. Look at my kick numbering system years ago. It's not even in there. Letty did do a beautiful scoop parry round kick to seatbelt control, which was awesome, getting that backpack. You know, it's something that I've shown people how to train many times. Turning back in, he gets an Ouchigari inside trip on Honeycutt, and then to the back koala bear style standing on his back, and then he turns back in, and